Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today for another Support Services info session with UMSU. Today we will be chatting with Carla Loewen from the Indigenous Students Centre, who will be sharing with us what they do there and how you can get connected with them. Without further ado, we'll jump right in. So welcome, Carla. Thank you so much for joining me today. First of all, would you like to explain to us what the Indigenous Students Centre is and what you do there?
Sure. So the Indigenous Students Centre is a place that supports all Indigenous students on campus. We offer many programs for students such as first-year students, students who are in their second, third, and fourth years to keep them on track with their grades. We have an Indigenous Graduate Student Success Coordinator. We do leadership development. There's a peer mentor program. We have financial wellness programming. And we have cultural programming. We pretty much do everything we can to support our Indigenous student community.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, like the whole package right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, what sort of services does the ISC provide?
The services are mainly support programs to help walk students through their academic journeys from their first year all the way until they graduate, whether that's undergraduate or graduate student work. And one of our main things that we also focus on are the holistic supports for students. So we consider students' well-being in terms of their spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental health. And so for that reason, we also have an Elders in Residence program. One of our advisors does cultural programming. So she offers bi-weekly fireside chats where she invites elders or traditional teachers to give teachings to students, staff, or the outside community. We also do cultural events and ceremonies. So we have a women's ceremony once a month called Full Moon Ceremony. And then one of the elders runs a men's group called Zongi Gaboan, which is to support men in university, or if there's a female student who has a man in their life who are going to university, like anything to support men as they walk through their academic journeys as well. And those are just the things on the top of my head. We also are really looking forward to bringing back like in-person programming. So we do want to do small little things like arranging for medicine picking with a small group. And I know that where the Indigenous Student Centre is, we work in a building called Migizi Agamic, which is where most students will always call it their home away from home. So we can't wait to open up again so that we can provide that space. And we're doing everything within safety parameters. But for me, it's really exciting to be able to start those connections and get that community going again.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just answered my next question there, like, where is the ISCN? As you said,
right.
Agamic, and yeah, a lovely home away from home, I guess, for a lot of students.
Yeah, so for students who are watching this session, Migizi Agamic Bald Eagle Lodge, and it's a building located right beside the education building, in between education and Max Bell Center. It's a beautiful space, so even on the outside, you can check it out. And then all students are welcome to come inside once it's open. So we look forward to opening our doors.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited to finally have more students on campus and get connected with the community there. Yeah, so just another question here. When are these services available to students?
Okay, so I've talked a little bit about the programming. We do offer all the programs that I already mentioned virtually, so everything's still going. One thing that I didn't mention is that our elders offer weekly sharing circles, which anybody can attend. So on Mondays, we have a women's sharing circle. On Wednesdays, there's a community circle, which is, again, anybody can attend. And then on Thursdays, just for students. So Indigenous, non-Indigenous students are welcome to join that. And then the Indigenous Student Centre also has many campus partners. So we liaise with career services, student advocacy, the libraries. We have a reading specialist. We have two really active Indigenous student groups, the University of Manitoba Indigenous Students Association and the Manitoba University Students Association. And I know I'm forgetting some people, but pretty much anything that we can offer through the center, we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got multiple connections all around campus to make sure students always have a place to go at any time or day.
Yeah, I guess our keywords there are like home away from home, and we try to replicate that, or we have tried to replicate that while we've been working virtually.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, why would a student want to come and visit the ISC?
Indigenous Students Center should visit us because, well, once we're open, it's a beautiful space, and we have lockers available, we have kitchen, we have a computer lab, we have pretty good study space, and all of the staff here are really friendly, and same with our student community. We're a very friendly bunch. In addition to everything that we offer, we also have our campus cousins who come do programming too in this space. So if you want to see a vibrant space that is rooted with cultural meaning in terms of how even the building was designed and built, it's just really worth checking it out at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I love
when we can.
Yeah, when we can, when it's safe to do so. Yeah, it's definitely worthwhile to check it out. Awesome. So would you be able to tell me how students can connect with the ISC?
Yeah, so that is a great question. All information can be found out by just emailing our main email. So it's isc@umanitoba.ca, isc@umanitoba.ca, and our front desk person, Desta, will share that information. We also have a really good webpage if students want to find Indigenous student experience. All of our offerings are available there.
Yeah, for sure. And do you guys do any like social media or anything that students?
Oh yeah. So we have for Instagram, it's at Indigenous, and then on Facebook, it's Indigenous Students Center at U of M.
Wonderful. That's good.
Twitter account, but I don't use Twitter, so I can't say that off the top of my head. Just look up Indigenous U of M Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, there's tons of ways to get connected throughout social media. Wonderful. Yeah, so are there any other education or resources that are available at this time?
Yeah, so again, for everybody who's watching, the Indigenous Student Center is pleased to bring back Indigenous orientation, which is virtual this year. It's going to be on September 15th between 10 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. and students will be able to start registering on September 3rd. It's a good place for anybody to join us live through webinar. And you'll be able to meet some Indigenous Student Center staff, learn more about the programs that I've already mentioned. And we're hoping that's a way to just start building that community up again. We really want that back.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's just really craving that connection, especially at this time. And we're crossing our fingers and hoping for the best and doing our best to keep everybody safe on campus.
For sure.
Wonderful. Yeah, and just to wrap things up, are there any final things to look out for that ISC is doing in the near future?
In the near future, we really are just trying to keep everything up to date because there's things that I've missed here. So we also have the Office of Indigenous Engagement and Communications, who does Indigenous Scholars Series, Speakers Series. We have an Indigenous student newsletter, so students can sign up through that through their Aurora accounts. I really honestly just go to the Indigenous Student Experience page to find all that kind of information. I forget what the end of that question was, but
yeah, just things to look out for, things coming up.
Oh yeah. All right. So look, if you go into the search, if you look up Indigenous list, that will link you, I think, third down to all our Indigenous events that are upcoming. So that's how students can find out how to connect with our sharing circles, with our reading specialists, with the Indigenous librarian. It's all in there.
Wonderful. Yeah, so we'll have a page just at the end of this video letting students know all the different ways you can reach out to the ISC and all the resources that are available, because there's just tons and tons of ways to stay connected. Yeah, absolutely.
I think I covered most of it in whatever this was, 5 minutes.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Carla, for joining us today. I really had a pleasure talking to you and learning more about ISC, and I hope everybody else did too. There was a lot of good information.
For sure. Yes, we look forward to seeing you all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.